So let's get to our stock of the day. Based on news, certainly over the past 24 hours or so, it is SpaceX. So it's reportedly considering a listing in the next couple of months in what could be one of the biggest IPOs ever. Valuation could reach around 1.75 trillion US, that's according to CMC Markets. The aerospace manufacturer and space transportation company is founded by Elon Musk back in 2002. In February this year, it acquired XAI to combine space and AI capabilities. The question is, would you buy into an IPO later this year? Expected to raise between $50 and $100 billion in that IPO, obviously used for expansion, particularly of its Starlink and also its development of space infrastructure. Mark Moreland.
Well, I'm well known as I'm a big fan of Elon and everything he does, because I think he's a genius, and I reckon he's the number one entrepreneur in the world, probably followed by Jensen Huang as number two, would be my votes. And SpaceX is brilliant, and what he's done is he has created this whole new space race. He's created, and once he proved you could actually catch rockets and reuse them, which everyone said was impossible, by the way, and all the professionals said it was impossible. He's recreated, and what that's doing with his new Block 3 rockets is they're going to be able to lift 100 then 200 tons into orbit, which is massively more than anybody else, which is then creating all these opportunities for data processing in space and so on, because you'll be able to get the hardware and everything up there at an economic level. At the moment, I think it's still about $1,000 plus a kilo, but Musk reckons he's going to be able to get it down to about 100. And if that's true, it creates a whole new industry for us, not to mention the whole potentially mining on asteroids and all the other stuff that comes with this. So I think SpaceX could easily be potentially the biggest company on the ASX in a decade or less. It could be. Tesla's a good candidate for it as well, by the way. But I think they'll outstrip NVIDIA because of the opportunity, and the TAM is so huge with what they're doing. So I'll be interested in investing in the IPO. I wouldn't do a big investment, but I'll definitely buy some to be part of the journey. Because if it does come in at 1.7 trillion, they've got 10,000 satellites with Starlink, and they've got it's going to make a lot of money, I think. Anyway, we'll see. I think it's very exciting.
Yeah, and certainly it's investment in infrastructure. In fact, we've had a bit of a pivot, I think, from NASA just in the past 48 hours or so, where they announced they're no longer going to focus on a space station. They're going to repurpose that to set up a lunar base, which clearly these companies are going to be scrambling to get a piece of.
Well, I guess it does bring out, if you get to data centers in space, and there's a great YouTube that came out a month or two ago. It's about 3 hours long, and I just sort of went into it going, data centers in space, don't be ridiculous. And by the end of it, I was like, holy crap, like this is, probably not on his timeline, which he's saying 3 years, but it sounded extraordinarily plausible. And then, manufacturing on the moon and all this sort of stuff. So, and I think probably NASA pivoting and trying to plant their flag on the moon, in terms of, that focus, probably, they believe him too. So, I sort of have the same. I think valuation is your only issue here. It's not it's nothing to do with whether this is a great company, whether it's brilliantly innovative. I think XAI is a great integration as well. One thing that I was sort of wondering about is that there's all of these rules around AI in terms of data usage, and the EU's got really strict guidelines. If these data centers are in space, it's pirate rules, like international waters. Basically, who regulates it then? So, until that loophole's closed, you might see it being taken.
How do you close it?
Well, that's exactly right.
You'd have everybody saying, China, we want to control all.
Yeah, but that's exactly right. So, it could really let the reins off, off AI and data usage and things as well. But yeah, I'd probably be small to have an interest. I don't think it's probably worth 1.75 trillion. It was early on. It was 1.2 trillion that they were thinking, and I think the market's kind of cooled its jets a little bit at the moment. But if he gets the data center in space thing actually happening, which he breaks it down in this video in cost values and things, and it ends up being like for like. It solves a power grid problem as well, etc. It'll be a huge disruptor to a number of different industries, and so I would definitely have some, but you wouldn't go nuts at it until it's going to be by the time this lists, there could have another major announcement or God knows what. So, and I don't think it's, it'll be a bit of a wild ride like Tesla's been.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, we'll call that a double bite. Both willing to weigh into that looming IPO, it would seem, as far as SpaceX is concerned.